Hey there, focused learners, and welcome back. Today, we are diving into a brand new explainer, and we're going to be doing a deep dive psychological profile on a wildly effective mental architecture. We're talking about Mercury in the 6th house. Now, just as a quick refresher, you know Mercury represents the mind, right? It's how we think, how we communicate. And the 6th house, well, that governs our daily work, our routines, the real nitty-gritty of everyday life. So you put those two together, and you get this absolutely fascinating look at how this specific placement takes raw, chaotic data and turns it into actual real-world results. Let's get right into it.
So I want to start off by having you ask yourself a really fundamental question. What does true intelligence actually look like? I mean, think about it. We usually picture, the lone genius locked in a room somewhere, scribbling incredibly complex equations on a chalkboard. We think of people who are purely book smart, right? The ones who can just effortlessly recite an entire encyclopedia of facts. But I actually want to challenge you to reconsider what it means to be truly smart in the real world. Like, does intelligence only live on a piece of paper, or is it something you can physically see working right there in the room with you?
Okay, let's dive into this. Let's contrast two vastly different ways of interacting with the world. Over on one side, we've got theoretical knowledge, the realm of abstract theories, deep philosophical musings, the big what-ifs. But then, on the exact opposite side, we have visible, practical intelligence. And for the Mercury in the 6th house mind, that practical side, that's literally all that matters. To them, knowledge is absolutely not some shiny trophy you just put on a shelf to admire. No way. It is a tool, it's a wrench, it's a screwdriver, it's a perfectly calibrated instrument that is meant to be used. Honestly, they could not care less about a beautiful, elegant theory if it doesn't actually work when the rubber meets the road. Which brings us to Section 1, the rise of practical intelligence.
Let's explore exactly how this type of mind processes the endless flood of information we all get hit with every single day, and why it relentlessly prioritizes tangible reality. As our source material lays out perfectly, intelligence is proven through practical, real-life solutions. I mean, that right there is the absolute foundational philosophy of this mindset. For individuals with this placement, a concept is completely useless, literally of zero value, if it can't be directly applied to fix a tangible issue in their daily life. You can talk their ear off all day about some amazing theoretical workaround, but until you physically show them how it fixes the broken printer, or, streamlines the morning commute, or actually balances the budget, they just aren't going to engage with it. They demand reality.
All right, moving into Section 2, Mastering the Complex. Let's look at the art of deconstruction. So, if they demand reality, how do they handle it when reality gets, well, incredibly complicated? Notice how this mindset defines analytical thinking. It's not just passively examining information. Oh no, it is examining information systematically, with a very specific laser-focused end goal, directly improving performance in daily work situations. There's a direct bridge happening here between that internal, quiet, systematic analysis and their outward, highly visible daily performance. They don't just analyze for the fun of it, they analyze to optimize.
Think about the literal mental blueprint they use to tackle a massive problem. Imagine a giant, terrifying project that would send most of us into an absolute spiral of overwhelm. They don't panic. First, they confront the complex issue head-on. Second, and honestly, this is their ultimate superpower, they deconstruct it. They break it down into simple, manageable, bite-sized steps. And third, they execute those steps with just ruthless efficiency. This completely prevents overwhelm. It's kind of like looking at a massive, intimidating brick wall and instantly realizing, oh wait, it's just made of individual bricks that I can move one by one.
And that step-by-step deconstruction we just walked through? Well, this is the ultimate result. A remarkably strong ability to solve problems quickly and efficiently. Because they aren't intimidated by the whole giant mess, they can rapidly cycle through all the moving parts. They diagnose the friction, they isolate the specific variable, they apply the fix, and boom, they move on. It is an incredibly fast, highly efficient engine of problem solving. Let's pick up the pace a bit for Section 3, Professional Growth and Success. Let's see how these traits act as a massive career catalyst. When you have a mind built like a precision Swiss watch, your career is absolutely going to reflect that. And their approach brilliantly illustrates the direct pipeline from natural traits to outward success. Identifying an error doesn't lead to complaining, it leads to an immediate correction. Incredibly clear communication paired with flawless logical thinking, that translates directly into professional growth and success. Their natural quality control instincts literally act as a direct engine for their own career advancement.
So if you translate that data into a relatable, everyday scenario, what you get is the ultimate quality control expert. Seriously, imagine being in a workplace where a huge project is just riddled with hidden flaws. While everyone else is pulling their hair out over the symptoms, the Mercury in the sixth house person is happily diagnosing the disease. They are the ones proofreading the code, double-checking the vendor contract, finding that one tiny structural weakness right before the big presentation. Having this specific problem-solving mindset makes them absolutely invaluable in literally any professional setting.
Let's slow things down just a little bit here for Section 4, Grace Under Pressure.
We really need to understand how this highly analytical mind reacts to intense environmental stressors. Picture a truly chaotic scene for a second. The servers have completely crashed, the client is incredibly angry, your deadlines are looming, and the entire office is essentially running around in a blind, chaotic panic, right? This is the harsh reality of high-stress situations. And let's be honest, for most people, high stress totally destroys cognitive function. The brain gets flooded, focus absolutely shatters, and they just freeze.
But right in the middle of that storm, our source material highlights a really remarkable trait: the ability to give useful advice in stressful situations. Amidst total, unpredictable chaos, this placement suddenly becomes the deeply grounded voice of reason. Because their brain automatically defaults to deconstruction and practical steps, panic simply doesn't hijack their nervous system. They become this crucial safety net for everyone around them, calmly pointing out the logical next step when literally no one else can even see straight.
So how does this actually translate to their daily lifestyle? Well, we just established that they can effortlessly survive unpredictable chaos. They can handle the heat, for sure. But as we all know, merely surviving is definitely not the same thing as thriving. When we compare unpredictable chaos to structured routines, what they actually need to operate at their absolute best is a highly predictable environment.
And this is the secret key right here. Their mental sharpness actually increases with structured routines. When they don't have to waste precious mental energy just figuring out the chaotic basics of their day, when they have a set schedule, a designated workspace, a deeply reliable process, all of that incredible analytical power is suddenly freed up. Establishing a predictable routine is the exact secret key to unlocking their absolute peak mental sharpness. To them, routine isn't boring. Routine is the whetstone that sharpens the blade.
All right, bringing it all together now in Section 5, the ultimate problem solver.
So the crucial point is this. When you distill the source material down to its essence, the Mercury in the sixth house mindset is built on these core pillars. First, an absolute obsession with practical application. Second, an eagle eye for error correction. Third, razor-clear communication. Fourth, routine-driven sharpness that fully optimizes their intellect. And finally, an unshakable calm under pressure. Put all of that together, and these traits don't just make someone smart, they make someone remarkably, incredibly effective.
Which leaves us with this final, incredibly exciting thought. If your intelligence is truly proven by the real-life problems you actively solve, what are you going to solve next? Whether you actually have this placement yourself or you just want to borrow this brilliant, highly practical mental framework for your own life, the world is absolutely full of chaotic systems just waiting to be deconstructed and improved. So get out there, find a problem, and start fixing. Thank you so much for joining me for this Explainer, Focused Learners, and I'll catch you on the next one.